What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Nash, and today I'm going to be talking about why some people graduate from college with their bachelor's degree in finance and they're just not able to find jobs. You know, they're at home for 6 months, 7 months, maybe even a year. They just can't find a job. So I'm going to be highlighting some things that might be causing this. Obviously, this does not apply to everyone, but I believe that this applies to a lot of people. So without wasting any time, the first thing is going to be that you applied to the wrong companies and also you applied to your dream jobs. So what do I mean by this? Let me start off by the companies part. So a lot of people, when they are about to graduate, when it comes time to apply to the jobs, to the companies that you want to work in, the first instinct is to apply to the most popular companies, the biggest companies, and this is going to limit your options, right? And this is going to make it more competitive as well, simply because everyone else is applying to those popular companies. Everyone else is applying to those big companies, right? And that's going to limit your options, as well as applying to your dream job. So when you apply to your dream job, let's say my dream entry-level position is to be a financial analyst, and I only apply to financial analyst positions. This limits my options because I'm only focusing on one position. And if everyone else wants to do that, if that's everyone else's dream job, then it limits your options as well, right? Because it makes it more competitive. And if it's more competitive, it goes into, you might have the best GPA, the best grades, but a lot of people also have good grades, great grades as well. So you want to avoid to only applying to the most popular companies, the biggest companies, your dream positions. You want to avoid all of that. You can do that, but in addition to that, you also need to apply to other companies. Every single company, right? It does not matter if the company is a big business, a small business, a medium business. Your goal should be to just get in the door and get some real life experience. That's going to take you further than your college degree. So just to give you a different perspective from someone who is not in school, you want to think about finance as something that's everywhere, right? So think about every single company, every company, right? Even your favorite taco shop, even your favorite donut shop, you're gonna see that they need money, and in order to manage that money, they need a finance department. It might not be labeled finance, it might be accounting, it might be under a different name, but every company has their finance people, right? So this should open a bunch of doors in your mind to just think about the possibilities, right? Think about every single company has a finance department. I'm just generalizing, saying finance department. It might be under accounting, it might be under something else, but every company has a finance department. So if you think about it that way, that should give you more options. You should think about applying to every single company. You can work at the zoo as a financial analyst. You can work at waste management as a financial analyst. You can work at Walmart as a financial analyst. And also another tip I want to give you, I know a lot of people work retail jobs when they're in college or when they're in high school just to get money. And you have to realize that all of these companies like Walmart, H-E-B, CVS, McDonald's, like all of these companies, even if it's fast food, like all these companies that you work at for minimum wage, they have their corporate level positions, right? So if you've already worked at McDonald's for like 5 years, you were, doing the food stuff. Now, when you're about to graduate, maybe think about applying to their corporate position, right? To the corporate positions that they have in finance, whatever. So that's another side tip. And also when it comes to applying for jobs, do not just apply to your dream jobs, right? Do not do that. Apply to every single job that is related to finance. Sometimes the job might not even have anything to do with finance, but your goal should be to get in the door. All right, so now you might be asking yourself, if I want to work as a financial analyst, why would I apply to a credit analyst job? Why would I even accept that? So I'm gonna give you one tip that I've learned ever since I started working in finance. A lot of companies would rather promote from within the company rather than outside. So if you've worked at a company and you know that if there's a position open, maybe it's a management position, maybe it's just another position, the job is posted within the company first, right? They will ask the managers, the supervisors, the directors, can we promote anyone to this position? Can we move anybody, right? If they can't do that, then they post the job online to get people from the outside. But a lot of companies, maybe not all, but a lot of companies like to promote from within or transfer from within the company. So now if you are working as a credit analyst, but your dream job is to be a financial analyst, and let's say they open up a financial analyst position, you can apply to that and you're gonna have more leverage than someone who's applying from the outside, right? So that's why I would say you need to get in the door, whether you're working as something else not even related to finance. And I'm only saying this if you're at a level where you're desperate enough where you're not finding jobs. You just need to get in the door, and those positions are going to open up, and when they open up, you apply, and you already have leverage when compared to someone who is applying from the outside. All right, so my next point is going to be that a lot of people focus on the wrong industry. I feel like there's a huge misunderstanding when it comes to working in finance. So a lot of people that graduate with finance degrees, they have this mindset that they have to work in the financial services industry. This includes things like, working in banking, working in insurance. The truth is, you can work in any industry. You can go to healthcare, you can go to food services, you can go to anywhere. Like I said before, you can work at the zoo as a financial analyst and make a lot of money. So you don't have to work in the financial services industry. So when it comes to limiting your options, when people are applying to jobs, applying to the wrong companies, applying to only one industry is a problem because you're limiting your options as well, right? Like I said before, the main goal should be to get your foot in the door so you can maybe start in healthcare, working as a financial analyst for a hospital, right? And then once you have that experience, you can transfer from healthcare to financial services. It's a lot easier to move around when you're already inside, right? But coming from the outside is really hard. So your goal should be to get in the door. So you need to forget thinking about you're gonna work at your dream company, get your dream job, or in your dream industry. No. If you're trying to get your foot in the door, you have to accept whatever you get. And then once you do that, you're gonna have more options because it is a lot easier to move when you're inside than when you're coming from the outside. You can even work at a church as a financial analyst, right? All those donations have to go somewhere. All those donations have to be allocated somehow, right? So this should give you a different perspective that's gonna allow you to look at things differently when it comes to applying for jobs, when it comes to applying for your first entry-level position. All right, moving on before we get off topic again. So my next point is gonna be unrealistic expectations when it comes to how much money you're gonna be making. So you might have heard that, hey, people in finance make, six figures, when they're just starting off. That is very unrealistic, and that is an unrealistic expectation to have when you're approaching finance. Especially, you're gonna be let down if let's say you have an interview for a company that you like. Maybe it's for, a corporate financial assistant or financial analyst. And then, they ask you how much you want to get paid, and you say a number like six figures. They're not going to pay you that. They're going to offer you 50K, 60K, definitely not 70K. Maybe at times like this, maybe they might offer you that much. But 50K is the starting, sometimes even 45, between 45 and 50, that should be your expectation. But, if you're someone who goes into investment banking, then that's a different story because, those people get paid a lot of money. But if you're just going to corporate finance that is not related to banking, you should be expecting to start from 45 to 50K. That is your base. So do not have unrealistic expectations because you're going to be disappointed. But if you're under the impression that you're going to be getting paid six figures, you're going to be turning down every job offer, trying to find the job that's going to offer you, six figures. And you're not going to find any job that's going to offer you that starting off in entry-level position, and you're stuck unemployed looking for jobs. So try to avoid having that mentality that you're going to make a lot of money in finance. One thing I've learned is you have to earn the money. You have to set yourself apart from your coworkers or your people that you compete with, right? That's how you make a lot of money. But starting off, you should not be expecting to start off with a lot of money. But one thing I will tell you is it is a lot easier to make a lot more money once you get started and you prove that you know what you're doing and you prove that you are a valuable asset to the company. So since I mentioned things like investment banking and things like that, and if that is your goal, if your goal is to work in investment banking, I believe it is also called, if you want to work in high finance, those types of finance positions, you need connections. You're gonna need connections. Grades aren't gonna save you. You need connections. And a lot of people talk about going to target schools and non-target schools. So one thing I would say is if you wanna get into investment banking, since you need connections, you should just go to a target school, right? If that's your goal, to work in high finance, go to a target school, because that is going to allow you to be surrounded by connections that have the same goal as you, or that have done what you're trying to do. But if your goal is to work in corporate finance, you don't want to go into, investment banking, high finance type positions, you can go to a non-target school. You don't need to go to a target school to work in investment banking, but going to a target school just allows you to have more connections. But if you're not going to a target school, your connections are going to be joining the clubs at your college, right? Like maybe the investment club, right? And also your classmates are going to be great connections to have, because once somebody that you took a class with, that you knew in college, gets a position at a company and they know that the company's hiring, they're going to recruit you. They're going to tell you first, right? Because believe it or not, some companies pay employees that work at the company to find new talent, right? So if you build a network of classmates that are in finance, that go work in finance, and they go work for different companies in different industries and different job titles, you're going to have a huge network of people that have the ability to recommend you to the employer, and you skip the line of waiting with 1,000 other resumes of people that only applied online, right? So you have to stop making fun of the nerd, because you're going to need him one day. And my last point is going to be, you do not need to go to a target school. I already mentioned this, but a lot of people think that in order to have a future in finance, in order to make it in finance, you have to go to a target school. You don't have to go to a target school. I'll explain exactly why you don't need to go to a target school. So going to a target school allows you to have a network, right? It's all about having connections and networking. So if you think about it this way, right? If you like to play soccer, why would you hang out with people that like to play volleyball? You go hang out with people that like to play soccer, right? Because you can learn from them. They can introduce you to teams that you can join and things like that. That's like going to a target school. If you go to a target school, you're going to find people that, their goal is to go work in high finance, investment banking. So if you are in that environment, you also have companies that are going to go to that target school and recruit directly from that school, because they know that everyone that's here, their goal is to mostly go to investment banking. So why not just go exactly where they're at, right? But if you have no intentions of going into investment banking or any related positions, going to a target school is just going to cost you more money, especially if you have to pay for or take out loans to pay for that. It's more expensive. So go to your state school, get your finance degree, and follow the things that I just said, and those are going to help you. So this is just my opinion. I think that if you want to go into investment banking or any related positions in high finance, go to a target school. That's going to be a lot easier for you. It's not saying that if you go to a non-target school, you're not going to have, any opportunity to work in investment banking. You are, but it's just going to be a lot harder. You have to work a lot harder than someone who was in a target school. All right, so that is pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I missed anything. If you want to add anything else to this, if you have any video suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. And also make sure to go and hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and also make sure to like the video. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.